Hi, it's Tiffany Lorraine, the Resilient Mother, with another episode of the Resilient Mother podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about mastering your unique resilience as we go into the new year. And my guest with me today is Maria. She is a trauma alchemist, and I am excited to have her today. Thank you for being here, Maria. Please tell us more about you.
Hello, Tiffany. Thank you for welcoming me and having me on here today. Yeah, I'm the Trauma Alchemist, but what I'm a healer and coach. I'm a rapid transformational therapist, a clinical hypnotherapist, a breathwork facilitator, and a sound healer. And I work with women who want to heal their trauma, and they notice that it's holding them back in their lives, in their businesses, but also as moms. You know, when we have children, they are like the perfect mirror for us, where we can heal more and can look at our own upbringing and what we learned or didn't learn and where we got wounded, so to speak. So I work with women around that, healing what's holding them back from having the life of their dreams. And I do that in different ways. So because I'm a mom myself, and this is for moms, I can say a lot to this. So that's who I am. Yeah.
Well, the idea with this podcast is to help mothers be more resilient, to raise the next resilient generation, because mothers are the foundation of society, because family is the foundation of society. So let's start with, what does resilience mean to you?
Yeah, resilience means to me, it has different factors or different components for me. Like courage is one, strength is another one, and trust. So in order to have resilience, you have to have the courage to move through your life, even if there are challenges or difficulties arising. You have to have the strength to move through them and not let yourself be defeated and give up, so to speak. And you have to have trust that no matter what the difficulties or the challenges are, you will get through them. And there is a reason for all of that happening, so that you can continue your journey. That's what that means. And if I have all these components, then I'm resilient. I'm equipped to move through life's challenges with ease, maybe not with ease fully, but without being defeated. That's what I would say. People who are resilient, they don't let themselves be defeated easily.
What experience in your life do you feel has made you resilient?
Oh my goodness. There is so much. First of all, healing from my own childhood upbringing and trauma, which I started in my 20s, really, really early on, is a big part. That the resilience I gained from that, like being able to move through difficult situation, to deal with hardship, was something I would have wished not to have to go through, of course, but it really equipped me, especially when I started working with that and healing all of that. Then when I became a mom, and I had 3 children, and then experienced a divorce that wasn't what I wanted, of course. My husband, well, I don't want to go into the details, but yeah, I was suddenly, with my youngest being 1.5, a single mom of 3 kids, working. I was at that time working at the university, teaching student teachers in their master program. So to coordinate all of that and deal with my own pain over the fact that I wasn't able to give my kids what I wanted them to have so badly, a family that's whole, that's functioning. I understood then, of course, that being separated and not together with the father of their kids would give them a better example of wholeness or health, let's say, than staying in a relationship that's not functioning really, or not happy. So, but yeah, moving through all of that really I needed resilience to do that. And I remember when I was teaching, people would always ask me, how do you manage to show up here so fully and so enthusiastic and like available for all of them. When you have all these kids at home basically waiting for you. And one tool that I always had or always was thinking about is like just being in the present moment that I was in. So when I was there teaching them, I was 100% there. When I was picking up my kids, I was 100% with them. And I did not let myself be overwhelmed by all the things I had to do for my work. I was just with them, and doing that consistently really helped me to move through all of that and be resilient. And then I had another situation when that was 15 years back, when I had a complete total collapse for different reasons, like emotionally, physically, and my adrenals completely shut down. And so I could have been like so defeated. I give up completely, never looking to pursue my dream or my soul calling that was calling me to bring healing to the world or offer healing to the world. And I was really going for it like a long time. And also that needed resilience to not give up, because it didn't show up right around the corner when I wanted it, like how that could look like and how that would actually work. And part of that process, long process, because I also had 3 kids that I raised, was this collapse. And to move through that and not give up on that, like still feeling this, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to bring this to the world. How can that look like? That needed resilience as well. And so now I'm finally there, I'm doing it and I love it. But if I wouldn't have had all this resilience throughout my life, I wouldn't have arrived at that moment where I can say I'm offering to the world what I'm supposed to bring. I help women heal so they can have the life of their dreams, the relationships of their dreams, the abundance they desire, and do that on a really deep level so it transforms them quickly and permanently, is so rewarding. And especially when I'm talking to moms, being a mom is such an incredible job and responsibility. We bring the people into the world. We help bring people into the world that can change the world. And so if a mom starts working on herself and healing whatever she might have missed in her childhood or would have needed in her childhood so she can be a better mom, she becomes the change maker in that whole family line for that family. And the next generation doesn't have to go through the same hardship anymore because this mom took responsibility, and we can be just better moms for our children. I'm just so happy that I moved through all these situations with resilience and not giving up, so I can bring this to the moms and women in the world who need that.
So we're talking about unique today, and I think I'm going to take a little different twist on it today. I think there's many people in the audience that can relate to one or all of the things that you've been through. There's a much higher rate of divorce than there used to be. There are a lot more broken families, blended families. It's not the ideal a lot of us strove for, and there's a lot of grief behind that we have to work through and honor. And we also have to make sure we're putting our oxygen mask on first before we put it on the kids, so we don't burn out. But if we do, we still don't give up. We find a way and we work through it. And I think the love for our children definitely pushes us that way. And so we are unique in our journeys, but we're not unique in some of the struggles. We're actually very similar. We all want the same things. We all want to be more resilient. We all want to honor the unique individuals each of our children are and who we are meant to be. And we're all striving to find our truth and honor their truth, because that's real resilience. And my way of saying it is that it's finding your truth, living your truth under all circumstances, not compromising on yourself, not giving yourself away, maintaining wellness on the journey, honoring the journey, and bringing joy to it along the way as well. And now you get to turn it around and you get to serve people, and you can really validate and say, I've been there, versus here's a theory or here's an idea that we can try. And I find there's a lot of power in that in coaching, even with my own clients, is when I can really be with them in it and understand the emotion and the feeling of what they're going through. And it helps them realize they're not alone. In that way, they're not unique. We have some common humanity. but we can find the truth, we can find the uniqueness of what they get to do with it and send them on their way to more things. Do you have an example of a client or an experience that really shows this kind of transformation with the work that you do?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I have so many. Well, I start with one that's like very visible, the transformation. I had a woman, and I had several of those clients where that actually happened. But I had a woman come to me. She was a very high achiever in a company, and she didn't like that work anymore. She wanted that to change. And she also had to deal with a lot of social anxiety. She wouldn't, yeah. And then the next topic she wanted to work on was she couldn't get pregnant. Like for 2 years, her husband and they both tried, and nothing was, like, it was unexplained infertility, and nothing worked. So we decided to work together 3 months on this. So we started with the social anxiety because that was a general theme overarching all specific topics. So with that work, in that 1 month, she overcame that completely. It was 100% gone. She also got all the ideas how to change her business, her career, so that she could bring in more of her unique gifts that she wanted to share. So that second month that we wanted to work on, that wasn't even necessary anymore. So we focused on the pregnancy. And a month after that, she was pregnant. And that was not the first time. So there was some emotional trauma that she had to deal with in order to become a mom and be able to carry a child and be there for it. So and then she gave the third month that she had booked to her husband because she didn't need it anymore. She had all her done. So, and I have had that several times, that pregnancy arrived like really a month later. And once I had it even during that month of work together. So then I've worked with other women who get really easily triggered, like in their relationship with their husband or with their children. And they really don't want to yell at them. They really don't want to get so overwhelmed, but they don't know how to stop it. They have an idea what the connection to their past might be, and really consciously want to change it. Like, I'm not going to do the same thing that happened to me. But then they are in the situation, and it still happens no matter what they try. And that's then a sign that something in their subconscious mind, where they don't have access to right now, is stored, like situations from the past that they didn't really in all depth heal from, and beliefs about themselves or life or relationships are stored in the subconscious mind that we are not even aware of. So when I worked with a woman around that, her triggers disappeared. And they disappeared in a way that she was able to respond to situations in her relationships with her children, her husband, instead of react and then like overreact or underreact, so to speak. So she described it to me so beautifully. So when we are in those situations, it feels like our reaction and who we are, the reaction we don't want, actually, it's like this close together. It's like we can't get a part of it from it. And so the healing that we did allowed her to have this space and feel, oh, there's how I would previously have reacted. Oh, I don't need to do that anymore. And there's the different response. That's what I call a response then, instead of a reaction that's so immediate. So all her relationships improved so much. She was so grateful, and her kids and her husband, they all noticed the change in her. And that's just so beautiful. That comes back to what we talked about before. Like, she's the change maker. She doesn't repeat the same patterns. It stops with her. So her children have a chance to grow up differently and pay that forward then eventually. So, or boundaries is also a topic I work a lot with, like women being in relationships that are unhealthy, because they can't set the boundaries, and have like, or with children even have too loose boundaries. And then because if we have lived a, through a traumatic or even a difficult childhood where our parents didn't know how to set boundaries, we don't have boundaries that are clear. So we want to be the understanding mom for our kids. So we let them loose. And then at some point it's like, oh no, this is too much. And then we overreact and then we set the boundary in a harsh way. If we would have known where our boundary is and the boundary the child needs, we would have been able to set that in a calm and clear way so that the child feels safe and we also feel good in what we need. So I work a lot with that also. And it has all to do with healing the past experiences that are stored in the subconscious mind, finding the beliefs that we created unknowingly from it, and then changing those. That also then allows people to have clearer boundaries. I had once a situation, and it's not something that I share lightly. I mean, I share everything I share about my clients with their permission, of course. But, you know, when I talked to her the first time on our very first call, I knew she had to cut ties with her family. She was an older woman. She was the caretaker of both of her parents. And she did that. And at the same time, let them abuse her, like emotionally. And the same happened with her husband. And I felt like she needs to cut ties. She will not recover if she stays in that toxic environment. So we did the healing and all of that. And after the first month, at the end of it, I talked to her. She said, yeah, I actually cut the ties. There's our caregivers in place. They can do the work. And I said, I'm not available for that anymore. It was difficult for her because she wanted to care for her parents. But the way they treated her, it was not good for her and really unhealthy. And so she has only limited access to them now. And that was all she needed. She needed this healing to be able to take this step, have healthy boundaries. And yeah, if they in the future change their behavior, she's absolutely ready again to help them and take care of them. But right now, that's not what she could do. It was very unhealthy for her. Her health has improved. She's bringing her own healing again to people that she completely neglected. So that's also another example of what this work can do around boundaries.
And I think this all gives people hope. And that's what I also think resilience is it's hope. It's the idea that we can grow, that we can change, that we can overcome. We can be the chain breaker. We can be more than the survivor. We can thrive. It's just a matter of doing the inner work that you're talking about. Because with the fertility thing, for example, the body doesn't lie. If you've got something going on, the body's going to hold on to it somewhere, and we have to figure out why it's holding on to that. And I love the idea of healing generational patterns, because chain breaker heals before and after. I do hear people say, oh, it's my body, it's my life. But really, is it? Because everything that you do genetically becomes a disposition for the next generation and the next. And that's why it takes 3 generations to create any positive change in a family line as well. So you might as well choose to be the one that's changing it in the right direction.
Exactly. Yeah, and the healing that you do, it's said that it goes 6 generations backwards and forward if you decide to become the change maker and to heal. And I always say you are going from being the victim to victory, because you rise from from wherever you came from to bring something different to the world, to your kids. And it's just, I have so much respect for every woman who decides to become a mother, and what that journey entails. It's big, and it's so important. And I have even more,
but most rewarding job in the world. It is so hard. It's harder than anything else, but it's the most rewarding and fulfilling role that we get to have as women, and a lot of us. And for those who don't get it exactly through birth, there's still adoption, there's still other ways that we still mother other people and take them in, as well as we've had some speakers who aren't moms on who have shared as well. There's a mother somewhere in everyone's life, one way or the other, and they have impact one way or the other. And so we get to choose what that impact is. And I also loved when you're talking about boundaries, because I think to live your truth, you have to have resilient boundaries. Because once you've really stepped into who you are, especially a healthy, whole, grounded, aligned version of yourself, then you have the right to protect it. And you don't have to do it harshly. You just have to do it with honoring where you're at and where that person is at, and saying, if you want to come along with me, this is where I'm going. And if you're not coming the direction I'm going, I can't take you with me, I think is one way to look at it. That's because it's hard to say no. It's hard to say no to family and to those you love, or it's that traditional idea of, we should always be able to work it out with our family. We should always be able to have certain relationships work. But in some cases, if it's too toxic, if it's not allowing you to live your truth and to be healthy and aligned with yourself, it's not serving anyone.
You have to, it's not serving anyone. Yeah, I agree. It's not serving anyone. And that is sometimes a hard choice to make. And the example I brought, that was like really extreme. And often we are able to talk about it. It's just something that we have to be aware about. Like, what is my boundary? How far can I go and find a compromise, let's say? And where do I have to step back and say, no, that I can't go further. That's my boundary. And if you can't accept it, I'm sorry. I would love that we find agreement, but it looks like we can. So we have to accept both, that that's not possible. And if you can do that, that's also already a step forward, Yeah. So I agree with everything you said. Yeah.
With the people that you work with, how do you honor each unique situation from your own unique experience? How do you let them know they have value because of just who they are?
That's the goal of the whole work that I'm doing, that they feel that they reconnect with their deepest essence, let's say, so that they understand that everyone who is on this planet, who lives, is absolutely unique. There's nobody like you or like me out there. We are unique, and because of what we go through, we lose that. And there are, of course, reasons why we want to belong to a certain group of people, and so. But that's the goal of my work, and I do that by holding space for them. My clients, I don't know how to say that really. They just feel that I hold them as the unique beings they are. And because I have so many different life experiences that were not always easy, that I can relate to them on different levels and different parts of their journey so well, and they feel that. And they feel my love and compassion for them that I'm holding them with. There is no judgment whatsoever, only love for someone else who's on their journey and has their unique way of moving through it, and their unique situation, and their unique being. So I have so much compassion and love for every different person I work with. And I think they feel that. That's at least what they tell me afterwards. And I also have these intuitive gifts that I use when I work with them, that I can really tune into their field, let's say, or what they need also in the healing sessions. It's working.
That's wonderful. I love to hear that. The transformations that people make, that's the most rewarding part of coaching. And I think us as women sometimes too don't want to ask for help. We think we can do it alone, or something's wrong with us if we can't figure it out. Like, why am I struggling with this? And I think instead, we need to realize that there's someone out there that can help you along the way. And it's vice versa. You're going to learn to heal so you can help someone else heal, or even if it's your children or your family. So it's really important to do the work. And it might take finding one or two different coaches or counselors or whatever method that you want to do that works for you to heal. I know myself, I have tried several different methods. I've had years of talk therapy and coaching, and now I'm doing coaching myself and all these things. But all of those experiences I get to bring with me and I get to share. And that's the value of everyone's unique experience. And also just honoring who you are uniquely. Find the person that resonates with you. Find the person that makes you feel safe, that you can trust, that you can really be open with. Because when you're able to really break your heart open, for lack of a better term, then you're really able to heal it. But until you're able to really open, you can't see what's all there and how you want to adjust it or make it more resilient, or where those boundaries are you were talking about, or where in the body is it being stored? Where is that trauma piece that maybe you've missed or needs a little more attention, or the inner child, and all those different aspects of the work. But all of it is you. All of it is you, and there's nothing wrong with you, and you're not stuck the way that you are. It isn't, I'm just this way. No, the brain is able to rewire. Everything's able to change. We change on a cellular level every day. We're literally a new person down to the cells every 7 years. You're changing anyway. You might as well change in the right direction and find the support that can get you there.
Exactly. And my experience is, like, for my own journey, I've also experienced many different modalities and things until I found this. And it's just really so fast in transformation. But if you are open to it, if you really feel, I want to find what can help me, if you put that out there, whatever you believe in, the right person will come your way through whatever you are Googling or a friend is telling you. You can trust, if you really want that, the right person will come to you. I've always experienced that. And that's what my clients always tell me. I was in another podcast and they listened to me and I felt like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I want. Yeah. And they became my clients. So that's how that works. And we always find what we need if we are open to it. And I truly believe that no matter what we go through, we are not broken. The essence of who we are can never be touched. There might be parts that feel like they are broken, and yes, we can help them heal, but who we are is always there and cannot be touched or taken away through whatever you might have gone through. Really, it's my experience, and that's also what I feel like can give hope. You might feel broken, but nothing is beyond repair in my experience, when to say it in these terms. Yeah.
What would be your favorite method or resilient practice with what you do that someone could do on a daily basis to help themselves move into this direction?
Well, what I learned to be a crucial part of my journey to becoming more resilient or more authentic, like more connected with myself, to have a self-care practice, like in the morning for me, especially also as a mom, before the kids wake up, that is just for me. For me, it's being out in nature. And because I'm intuitive, I'm also connected, and nature just helps with that whole connection. Just being in nature and walking. And I always give my clients a little practice to walk like the person, like when you can close your eyes and you connect with that part, with that person, with that future you, so to speak, what you want to be, who you want to be, like more, let's say, wealthy or more healthy. Like, how does this future you, how does she embody that? Like, how does she walk? So to walk with this intention to really embody that, yes, I am that, I can be that person who is more, has more patience with her children, who is more abundant, whatever that might be for everyone. So for me, it's to go out into nature, connect with myself, and then embody what I'm desiring as if it's already happening right now, and how that feels. That's a very empowering practice.
And I'm learning more about manifestation and how people do really get what they want. That's really important, because whatever your mind sees, it believes. So when you close your eyes and you visualize things, or you allow yourself to feel them, you're letting your body get comfortable in seeking those things out and the way for those things to happen. And that's why some people are really good at manifesting, because they've learned that pattern and trick of the mind, really, of how to master their mind and master themselves, so they can step into that future self, the next level of themselves, the future version of themselves. And that it's possible. I think some people just don't quite understand. Even the word impossible says I'm possible. It's
Yes,
completely
exactly.
possible. And so you're the only one holding yourself back. The only limitations are the ones you give yourself, whether you realize you're giving them to yourself or not. And I think that's the subconscious work that you're talking about. Is some
Yeah.
of us don't know where those are coming from, but once we do, that's really the breakthrough and the unlocking point to where you really want to be and who you are.
Yeah, exactly. It's when you are doing this, when you want to embody that next version of you that you want to become, then in the process, it will become clear where the blocks are so you can address them. And, when you visualize that or think these thoughts of what that would look like, you send out the message to the quantum field, let's say. But when you then, in the next step, allow yourself to really feel how that would feel as if it's right now, like actually feel it, that's what draws what you want back to you. That's how this whole thing works. It doesn't work without the feeling. But yeah, it's sometimes difficult or challenging to let yourself go there, and that shows where the blocks are, and then you can work on that. At least that's how I would see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you know what resilient you looks like because you've stepped into it. And then you know when something comes up, oh, that was triggered from this, I can change that. Oh, I'm aware of this, I can change that. So it comes back to that awareness piece and mindset, which really are the beginning of the work. And then the end is really stepping into it once you found it and you've started to feel it and you want it and you understand how good it is to be who you are in yourself resiliently. So thank you so much. I think this was a wonderful discussion today. It really served this audience. I really hope you listening get the hope and the sense of anything is possible for you with the right work, doing the inner work and the right strategy that helps you step into living your life and your truth resiliently. Where can they find you, Maria, if they would like to work with you?
Yeah, if you could post underneath, I have a free guide that my clients can, or the people who are listening to the podcast can get from me. It's like a self-sabotage guide. That's also something that we experience often, that we self-sabotage. We have all these idea of how we want to take care of ourselves, especially as moms, and then we don't. So I have this self-sabotage guide, and on my website, I also have, my website is Maria-Jansson, Jansson with double S.com. I have a free confidence boosting recording. And if people want to find more about this work and what I actually do and how that could look like for them, they can always book like a free clarity call on my website as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for being here today, everyone. Go master your unique resilience and step into who you really are. You've got this. And we'll see you next time on the Resilient Mother podcast.